Hi, everyone. We're back with another episode of Brownsville in Motion. I'm Dr. Rose Gowen, and I'm here with my friends JZD, Jennifer and Veronica. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much for having
Thank
us.
you. We're going to find out all about who you are and what you do and see some of your handiwork and talk about dreams. So I'm so excited that you could join us here at Startup Texas.
Yeah.
That we're filming today at Startup Week here at eBridge for BCIC, and it is fun and exciting. There's all sorts of stuff happening, including you guys. So welcome everyone, and welcome you guys.
Thank you.
So let's start with telling us who you are. Who is Jennifer and Veronica?
Yeah, so I'm Jennifer.
Yes.
I'm one of the co-founders of JZD, and I started this brand 10 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was born in Matamoros, moved over here when I was a kid, graduated back then when it was UTB. I actually have a degree in psychology and social work. I went out to work in the field, and I realized it's not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And so I quit my job, and I started the brand. And now, a decade later, here we are.
Good for you. Veronica, what is your story?
Yeah, so I'm Veronica Vasquez. I am a first-generation Mexican-American, the oldest of three children. I am born and raised in Brownsville, very proud. I'm the other half of JZD, married to this beautiful woman. I graduated from UTRGV with a legal justice studies degree. I don't use it.
You kind of do.
Well, sort of, yeah. And yeah, I joined JZD full time in 2018, sort of.
Yeah.
It was like 2 years after Jen started the business. Of course, I was doing like part-time stuff. I was helping out. But I didn't join full time until I quit my job, and it was in 2018, sort of ish.
And you started 2016. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's you probably didn't hang out at the same part of the campus if you were legal justice and psychology. How did you meet? How did you get together in this journey?
We actually met at Book B.
Okay.
So we used to
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we used to work at Book
At
B.
Book B. We actually met on her 18th birthday.
Oh my.
So we were both working at the university's bookstore.
I had just started maybe like a couple months before.
Yeah, I think she had just started. It was my first shift with her, and we met that day, and then a friendship bloomed from that, and then a couple of years later, I think one could say like 4 or 5 years later, we figured out that we wanted to be together, and we got married. Everything happened once we figured it out. Everything happened pretty quickly. We got married, and then within that first year of marriage, she had the entrepreneurial bug in her. Like, she knew she wanted to do something. She wanted to work for herself. She wanted to build her own business. We were just trying to figure out what that was going to be. So since we got married, it was already a partnership
Yeah.
in starting something.
And so psychology is an art. I'm a physician, so I consider psychology an art.
Yeah.
And a science, both, which
Yeah.
is the neat thing about that. But how did you get from psychology, social work to designing beautiful things?
It kind of just organically happened. When I was in high school, I discovered marriage and family counseling, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And so I went into psychology, and I graduated, and I started working for the state of Texas, actually. And it was like sucking the life out of me.
Yeah.
It was not something that I enjoyed. I hated just like the routine of sitting in a cubicle for 8 hours, like, was just not for me. So I went out and I worked on the field. I worked out in a foster care agency. I did that for literally like a month, and I was like, not for me either. And then I started, like, this was a decade ago when like social media was really starting to kind of build up, and e-commerce was kind of really starting to blow up. And I watched like 1,000 YouTube videos, and I was like, this is where I think I should head down.
Okay.
And I started hand drawing on coffee mugs, actually. And then I was listing them on Etsy, which Etsy's like a marketplace, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So then from there, I was like, there's no way I can scale me hand drawing on coffee mugs. Like, there's only so many mugs I can draw.
Yeah, it was a side hustle. And then at that point, she was the only one working a full-time job. I was finishing my last year of school. So I took a little longer to finish school, which is why I graduated from UTRGV. Because I started UTV, then UTV TSC, and then there was breaks in between.
Yeah.
So our first year of marriage, I didn't work. So I was just at home, and she was working full-time. doing the mugs. I would put in the mugs in the oven so they could cure, right?
Yeah.
And it was just out of really like necessity because we were trying to make ends meet.
I was still working a retail job at this point. I just graduated, but I hadn't yet found a job. So I was working at Best Buy. And so I would kind of work my retail job and then get home, draw on mugs, cure them, and then list them on Etsy. And then eventually I was like, can't scale this. I need to figure something else out. So that's when the next step for us was screen printing.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I created the Latina Power shirt in 2016 that I was like, okay, this is definitely what I'm supposed to be doing, because it was the first time that customers and just like people in general, even if they weren't shopping from us, the first time that there was like a conversation about what we were doing. And it was sparking conversations amongst people that had never met. Like if they were wearing the Latina Power shirt, they were like, oh my gosh, like I'm Latina also. Let's go have a cup of coffee.
Sure.
And that's when I looked at her and I was like, I think this is an untouched market. Like nobody is creating specifically for the Latino community. And this was before, now there's like so many small businesses that have a similar mission that are kind of targeting the same market, because I think the world has kind of started to understand the power of the Latino community, not just like the economic impact, but just in general, like Latina women are usually the head of the household and they're the decision makers. And so once we kind of learned all of that and really deep dived into the science behind the Latino community and shopping, I was like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. And it just kind of took off. It's like when we created the Latina Power shirt, we sold them, took that money, put it right back into the business, over and over and over, bootstrapped the whole way, and then eventually started creating more designs that were specifically with the Latino experience in mind. And the Latino community, thankfully, I think received it very well, because they were also craving that representation. It wasn't something that they had seen before, and they loved it. They enjoyed it, and it made me so happy to create it and give it to them. And so then just kind of rolled out that way.
It just kind of rolled out that way. And from everything that Jen is saying, like there was a lot of research on her part to be able to get that done. Like it wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to make Latina Power and that was it. Like it was a lot of like, what are we lacking? How are we not being represented? Because it was from a lack of representation. It was a lack of, especially when we started in 2016, everything that was going on around us. It was kind of a really scary time. Unfortunately, we're still there, but she took the time to really research and see, what do we need? How am I going to feel represented? And then this is what she created. So yeah.
I mean, I wanted a Latina Power shirt. And then I was like, well, if we sell it, great.
You know, that's the first time, the first shirt I bought of yours, the first anything I bought of yours was the Latina Power. And I still wear it. It's like tie-dyed. And I love it. And everywhere I go, whether it's here or Houston or even further, I get comments about it. Two of my sons, my oldest and my youngest, live in Oregon. Every time I wear it when I'm with them, they're like, I want something, Mom. Send me something. So my oldest has an apron that I'm not sure where he bought it, but it's one of your aprons. And it's exciting. You know, I'm 66 and I grew up born and raised here in Brownsville. And the majority of us are Hispanic. Obviously. Yeah. And so when I went to the University of Houston, I didn't know, I know when I say this, people look at me weird. I didn't know that I was Hispanic. I just knew that I was just like everyone else. And then when I went to Houston, there were so many other different people that you're like, oh, hang on, I'm Hispanic. Yeah. I'm a Latina. Or in those days, we called them Hispanic. We didn't use the word Latina because it was so old, long ago. But it's nice. It's really nice to have clothing or mug or whatever that identifies and makes you feel different, special, unique. And that's what your things have made me feel at the age of 66. So I got to thank you for that. What's your inspiration? Like when you go to design a t-shirt, do you dream about something and you got to get it down right away? Do you doodle and come up with a doodle that, what's your inspiration for your designs?
I think the biggest inspiration is the RGB. I think that being in this area, is the reason why so many of our teas are the way they are. A lot of it is just from like conversations we have. Might be things like my parents used to say, my grandparents used to say. I think when we create a new design, the biggest question we ask is, what feeling is this meant to create? And a lot of the time the answer is nostalgia. Like it's something that your grandma used to say, or it's un dicho que te decían. Like it's always something that sparks some sort of feeling that connects you to your culture. And I think that's usually how it happens. It's mostly in conversation.
Yeah, it's very natural. It's not like, I mean, yes, we do have some, you know, moments where we sit down, have meetings, and when, you know, what should we create? What's the state of the world at the moment? But a lot of the time, it's really in conversation. We're going through something. I suffer with, you know, depression. I have, PTSD, things like that. And we'll just be talking about life, and Jen will be like, "Está bien, todo bien, ya lloraste."
And then it
there you
becomes a
go.
t-shirt.
Something will
And there's a
become.
t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just things. I think that's why it's so well received, because it's just a natural thing that comes from us. It's life. You know, it's, you're having a tough day. It's fine. No pasa nada.
Right.
You know, it's just things that our grandmas told us. It's things that our parents told us, and you don't, I guess you don't realize it, but the older you get, the more you're going through life, situations happen, and you're like, I'm literally saying what my mom and my dad told me, or I'm literally saying what my grandma told me all those years ago when I was a little kid. That's what I'm using to be able to keep on going. So I think that's why everybody is so in love with the designs, because they feel like they're closer to home.
Yeah.
I feel like grandma's there, dad's there, mom's there.
I think that's very well said. You know, the one of the other T-shirts that I have of yours is the one that basically, I don't remember exactly the words, but it's, you are the reason that your ancestors existed. I forget the phrase, but that was the gist of it.
Yeah.
And you don't, you know, I used to have a wall in my house where I'd put up ancestor pictures, you know, my great 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 whatever on both sides, so that my kids could see, this is where you came from. And they used to call it the dead wall, and they didn't think it was cool. And but that T-shirt, I think, sparks that emotion in me. You didn't just hatch from from nothing. You came from these people. Their blood, their energy, their talents flow through you, and their deficits as well.
Yeah.
Flow through you, and you're the reason they existed. And I just love that T-shirt. My hat's off to you on that one. My oldest son is 42, and he's gay, and he lives in Oregon, and he's a nurse.
Nice.
And he told me just yesterday, you know, there are things that I didn't appreciate in childhood, or that somebody said to me, or grandma said something or whatever. But now I realize there was meaning there.
Yeah.
And he comes home every year, at least once or twice, and we go to his favorite Mexican restaurants. And last time we went to your store and he bought something. And that connection is to our ancestors, I think, is so vibrant in what you do that it really strikes my heart tremendously. And I'm sure others too.
Thank you. I mean, we're very proud of where we come from. And I think for me specifically, like, I always think back about how privileged I am to be in this position. And it's all thanks to the sacrifices that the people before me have made. I think back to like my parents and the sacrifice of them to leave their home because they left Mexico to give me a better life.
Sure.
And so it's like honoring all of those sacrifices that have been done to get me to where I'm at today. It's a very similar story to a lot of people that are also Latinos living in this country, and we all have very similar stories, and of course all of them are unique, but we're all tied. And I think it's beautiful when we kind of are able to bring that to life, and people love to feel that way too.
I agree. So your journey, I think the one of the many lessons is it's great to get a college degree.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily have to live in that degree forever. It's okay to change paths.
Yeah.
Certainly, I changed my path, becoming an elected official from a gynecology degree. So I'm all for that. You have to follow your passion, and
Yeah,
that's okay.
yeah.
And whatever you learned in your degree is going to serve you in some way
For sure.
for the future. So that's one lesson. But another lesson, you must have many of them. And I'm thinking, okay, if I was a young entrepreneur embarking in a field completely different than what I was formally trained for, there must have been a point where you think, okay, there's a path here. I can either go this way or this way. And you chose the right one because you've been successful. But what was that dividing point? Can you say, you know what, if I had not made this decision, we probably wouldn't be here today? Is there a defining moment that you think that you had that you'd use as a lesson to folks?
Honestly, I just didn't want to be unhappy.
Okay, that's very
Like for
important.
me, I
Yeah.
was young. I was very young, and I think I was at a point where I was like, it's either now or never. If
Which
anything,
is crazy. At how old were you?
23. I was 23.
Yeah, 23. So she was already thinking, I do not want, at 23, I feel like I'm 2 years older, almost 3 years older than her. I'm like, at 23, I still had a lot of mush up in here. And I wasn't like thinking, I don't want to be unhappy in this life. Like, I wasn't thinking further than maybe the week.
Yeah.
But she
Yeah.
was already thinking, I don't want to be unhappy. I want to be happy in what I'm doing, and what I'm going to pick, it has to make me, it has to fulfill me. So I think that was you taking that chance on yourself was.
I didn't think about it deeply in that moment. I was just kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore. And what better time than now to just not do it anymore. And so I literally just walked into my job I went into the office with my supervisor, and I just told her, like, I quit. I was like, I'm giving you a 1 second notice because I'm walking out.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Oh my
right.
gosh.
I'm not even going to finish my shift. And she was like, well, what's your plan? And I was like, I don't really have one, but whatever it is that I'm looking for is not here. Like, I'm not going to find it here. And I quit. I
Well,
drove home, and I was like, what am I going to do with my life?
Yeah.
But I knew that wasn't bringing me joy. And I was very comfortable with being broke. Like, I didn't care about like eating sandwiches every day. Like, it wasn't something that was like going to stop me from just like figuring out what I wanted to do. I was like very comfortable with just getting by. And it's like, well, I better do it now and not do it when I'm like way older and it's going to be really hard, and I'm not going to be as comfortable just eating maruchans because I'm going to have a family or,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to have like a dog to feed. I was just like, I can survive off maruchans. I'm going to give it a try.
Well, you know, I think that is your defining lesson for people. Listen to your heart. Listen to yourself, and be true to that. And if you hadn't done that, you might still be in that cubicle. Oh my God,
Yeah.
doodling
Can you
these
imagine?
wonderful designs.
Yeah.
No,
That would have not. No, she would have. She was not happy in those
No.
jobs. It was crazy. It was time for you to do what you needed for yourself.
Yeah.
That's terrific. I think that is a very big lesson of courage and self-knowledge, and
Yeah.
maybe others will hear that, regardless of age, regardless of whether you're a
Yeah.
young entrepreneur, an older person wanting to change a path. So, do you have a favorite design? What do you each have the same favorite design, or do you have different ones?
No, I think we have.
I think they're different.
I think they're different. I mean, for me, it's a Todo Bien Ya Lloré, and the Latina Power tie-dye.
Okay.
Those are my favorite ones as of now that I can think of in the moment. Yes, those are my favorites.
Mine is the Latina Power, like the original pink with red Latina Power.
Okay.
And I think it's mostly because I have like a connection to it, because it's what kind of catapulted the business
Sure.
to what it is today.
Sure.
And it's our little starts till this day is our bestseller. So
Yeah.
That's terrific. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
neat. Well, then mine's vintage. I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't stopped being the bestseller. She has been at the top.
Solid.
The solid. You don't even have to worry about her. We just know that we always have to restock her.
Interesting.
That's it. Yeah.
So do different things sell differently in different parts of the country? Like, are T-shirts of Latina Power more popular over here, and mugs more popular over there?
So our most popular areas, or like our biggest audience, is California, New York, Chicago,
Okay.
Seattle. But I think it's kind of like a mix. Like everybody There isn't a specific sweaters, obviously, like in the New York
So
area.
yeah, New York,
perform
Seattle, Chicago, sweaters. So
Yeah.
everything has kind of turned into, so if there's a t-shirt version of it, there's also a sweater version,
Yeah.
because those places usually ask.
They're cold.
Yeah, they're cold.
Yeah.
Sure.
So for us, it's like, give me short sleeves, give me no sleeves, because it's so hot here.
Sure.
But California also.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, they usually get about the same things, but the sweater version or the t-shirt version.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've seen your sweater. I got to look that up. So what's your biggest selling state? Where do you sell most if you've had to pick one state?
I think it's
New York.
New York.
It's
Yeah.
New York, California,
Yeah.
and then
Texas is like number 5 or
Yeah.
something
All right,
like that.
we got it. Hey guys, get to
Yeah.
the store. We need to bring Texas up. Okay?
Texas is about like number 5, number 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's New York, and then California, which we're not really surprised by because a lot of our followers are from
Yeah.
those
and
areas.
then our biggest city in Texas is Austin. And I think a lot of that is because in our early years, we did so much, like we just popped up in Austin all the time.
A lot. Mhm.
And so we kind of built a community there because we would do literally pop-ups like once a month, right? Like
No,
twice a month
it was like twice a month,
for like a
sometimes
solid
3.
year.
Yeah, and we would leave on Fridays. The events would happen either Friday night or Saturdays, and
come
we
right
would
back.
we would come right back because I was still working at that point. So it was like, go get the event done, get your
And come
faces
back.
out there,
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin was solid for. Really, Austin, I feel, is where we really got our head start there.
Yeah.
Because we really built a community there. For a long time, people thought that we were
Based in Austin.
based in Austin.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
like,
Based
no,
in
we just
Austin,
drive
or
all the
yeah,
time.
they
Yeah.
thought that we were based everywhere else but Brownsville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was fun.
Well, it's nice that you've stayed based in Brownsville, I have to say. So many, there are others that get really going well and then they move to some other city. So I'm glad that you decided to stay home.
We love it here.
And your demographic, who buys from you? What do you think?
So our target market is the Latina between the age of 19 and 36.
Okay.
But obviously, literally anybody shops from us. But our biggest customer is in that age range, and it is a Latina woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as we've grown, it's kind of changed. We have a lot of allies that shop from us that will message us and say, like, how can we support even though I'm not a part of your community? We also have a lot of LGBT advocates and allies that are not necessarily a part of the community but want to support. And so through the years, as we've kind of grown our audience, so have the shoppers. But yeah, it kind of stays within that range.
Yeah.
So I heard that one of the ways you got into Target, maybe I
Yeah.
heard it incorrectly, I'm not sure, was because they were celebrating LGBTQ at Target, or did I get that wrong?
Hispanic Heritage Month.
It was
Hispanic Heritage. Okay.
So they have what they call special moments. So it's like Black History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, Pride Month,
Which they don't do anymore.
AAPI, which they don't do anymore because of DI. That's a whole other conversation. But yeah, it was because of Hispanic Heritage Month, and we had previously worked with Meyer grocery stores in the Midwest,
Okay.
and they saw all of that, and so that's when they decided to reach out and were like, "Hey, we have this program. Is there any interest in it?" And we kind of went down that path.
Terrific. But now I think, would you say the most visible has been your partnership with Brooks Sneakers, or am I wrong in that?
No, I think it definitely was Brooks.
Yeah, no, getting a shoe with Brooks, I feel, was
It's honestly like the highlight of our
the
decade.
highlight of our decade with JZ, of this first decade with JZD, was getting that shoe with Brooks. And they're wonderful people. They were a wonderful partnership. They flew us out to Seattle. They asked all the right questions. They were like, "What do you guys need? How do we help you? How do we make this a perfect partnership?" And honestly,
we had so much creative freedom
Yeah.
when working with them. It was really fun. It was a
So
really
how
fun
did you
experience.
connect with them? That's a pretty big company.
They reached out to us.
Really?
Yeah, so they reached out to us and they were like, "We would love to collaborate with you." And it took about, what, 2.5
It was
years?
you never realize how
Long it takes to make a
how
shoe.
long it takes to make a shoe. You know, I love shoes. I love sneakers.
Sure.
For a very long time, every end of the year meeting that we had with our team, I'd be like, I want a shoe, I want a shoe, I want a shoe, I want a shoe. And everybody was annoyed with me. They were like, enough, Vero, I don't know. We don't know how to get you a shoe. Like, how are we supposed to make a shoe, right? And then if JZD were to make their own shoe, that would be millions
So
of
many
dollars.
shoe sizes.
Yeah, it would not be a good thing for the business. And then Brooks kind of just came knocking at the door, and they're like, hey guys, we love what you
Wow.
guys are about. We love what you stand for. Brooks stands for the same things. And how about we make a shoe together? They're like, I told you guys we were gonna get a shoe. Yeah, and it was amazing. It was a 2-year process to make a shoe. They took us to the Brooks headquarters. Never in my life had I looked at so many shoelaces and how a shoe was gonna get sewn together, and what patterns we needed for the shoe, and it was a beautiful experience.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun working with them. One, they have like an incredible, beautiful team. And then just the art of making a shoe, we were unfamiliar with. Obviously, we had never made a shoe. And there are so many details that go into making a shoe. That is why it takes 2 years. And also because they are performance based. So like these have to be good running shoes. Like it's not just like a shoe, right? It has to be a comfortable running shoe. And so there's so many things that kind of go through the process in order to get a perfect shoe.
So did you actually get involved with how you wanted the arch support and this and that, or it was really the colors and the design of the shoe?
So they gave us 2 types of shoes to pick from, right?
So they have like a mold, I guess, for lack of a better word. So they have a standard insole, a standard the performance shoe.
Okay.
And then that shoe is deconstructed and flattened out. And so then you get to edit out multiple pieces. So like you can edit the sole of the shoe, the laces, the what do they call it? Like the aglets. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think it.
Aglets, the tip of the shoelace.
Yes. Okay, I know what you mean.
And then you can edit like the entire. Once the shoe is flat, it kind of looks like this shape, and then you can edit everything on there. So there's like a bunch of things that can be edited, but the performance aspect of the shoe remains. Yeah. And then we also did apparel.
You did apparel for them
so we
as
did
well.
apparel for them.
Oh, so if we want to shop your Brooks designs, how do we do that?
So that was a limited edition collection, so it's not available anymore.
It's all sold out.
It's
sold
all
out.
sold
No
out.
way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sold
so
out.
the t-shirt sold out was the first thing that sold out pretty quickly.
Yeah. We sold out the t-shirts. The shoes sold out.
Sold out.
Which was, I don't know. In that moment, we were like in cloud 9. We were like, "What do you mean our shoe is sold out?" Like, because of course they don't go and make 100 shoes. Like they have
A
to
lot,
put the shoes in all these different stores, and
Yeah.
they're selling it there at Brooks. They're selling it on their website. We had gotten some shoes as well to sell, a limited amount to sell at the store. And then what was it? It took like 3 weeks.
3 weeks maybe?
3
I don't remember
weeks,
exactly,
4
but
So it was gone.
well, the
They were
t-shirt
like-
was sold out in like a week.
Yeah, the t-shirt was sold out, I think, in the first week.
Yeah.
Wow.
You would go on the website and it said sold out, and I was like, "This is not real. This can't." How
me
did we
refresh.
sell out?
That
Yeah, how
can't
did
be
we
right.
sell out a Brooks JZD collaboration T-shirt? Like that was crazy. So that happened within a week.
And then the shoe sold out next, and then we had a sweat set. Yeah. So then Brooks did the manufacturing of the shoe, and then we did the manufacturing of the apparel.
So ya se acabó. We can't
Yes,
get any more.
You can't get it anymore.
Bummer. Are they going to hire you for another limited
hope so.
edition?
I hope so.
Are you listening?
Ask.
People still ask, which is good. You know, I love that they'll go on the Brooks comments and be like, do you have more? Will you do another collaboration with them?
We're like, do you have any stash somewhere? I'm like, I didn't even keep like
your
an
closet.
extra. No, I mean, I have my own pair, but I should have kept like.
Yeah, no.
We did keep an extra of the t-shirt because I keep saying I'm gonna put it in a shadow box, and I still haven't done it, but I'm gonna do it. And then we did keep an extra of the sweat set.
We did keep an extra of the sweat
And
set,
then
and it has to like, I don't know. Someday I dream really big, and I'm like, one day there's gonna be a JZD museum.
There
And
you
it's
go.
gonna be
I
there.
love it.
And it's gonna be there with our shoes and our, our sweat set and our shirt. But shoes, we didn't keep
We just
any
have
extra
the
shoes.
samples, like the rounds, because there's like several rounds of samples, and so
Yeah.
we have those, like how it changed until it became what it is now.
Yeah.
But no extras.
No, I don't know. By the time we knew it, we were like, crap, we sold them all. Like we didn't even keep the one that we were supposed to keep for ourselves. So
So you dream big. I love that. So what's your next dream? You did t-shirts, mugs, all the other stuff that you can buy in your store. Brooks, what are you
Yeah.
going to design next?
I don't know. We're kind of just really enjoying where we're at.
I feel like we've hustled so much for the past 10 years. Like we have really there was not a single battle that we shied away from,
Yeah.
because 10 years are not easy.
Agree.
Small business, lesbians, Mexicans, in the state of the world, it has been really tiring, and there's been a lot of give back from that. Like we've gotten so much from the community that I kind of feel like we're like moms, but I feel like at this point, Jen and I get to sit down for a little bit. We get to enjoy the fact that we've built this beautiful thing. It's been 10 years, and now we get to have a second of just, let's calm down. We're not fighting for our lives anymore. We've kind of figured it out. We've kind
You
of
don't have to eat, what is it, Maruchan?
Maruchans.
Eat noodles if
Yeah.
you don't want to.
The groceries
still
are
love
fine.
them.
The groceries are fine. Your bills are on auto pay. We've reached a point of stability. And when you're an entrepreneur, that's really difficult. And I think at 10 years, we've matured. We've grown up. We've grown up with the business. And I think we get to take a second, breathe, and then go from there. And I think we're enjoying this moment of, let's just recognize what we've done.
I would highly encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
That is very wise. I was on a panel here at eBridge. Was it yesterday or the day before? Anyway, it was about, for the entrepreneur, how do you practice and find time for physical fitness, health and mindfulness and so forth. And so we had Graham Sevier from 7th and Park, and Dr. Belinda Reiniger from the School of Public Health, and Denora from Fit Lab, the gym over at Palm Village. And everybody had their favorite thing to do. Like mine is riding bicycles. I love to ride bicycles and feel free. Same thing with Graham, obviously. Belinda loves to run on trails with her dogs, and Denora likes to traditional workout, kind of things. What do you do to keep saying? You talked about taking a breath, and that reminded me of the session we had. I think that's really important for your health and mental and physical, to not drive yourself into the ground. What do you like to do?
We are walkers.
Okay.
We love walks.
Yeah.
And then recently we've started writing, which has been really good to just kind of do something for fun with no worry of how am I going to monetize this. It's just been for fun. So we both started Substacks.
Yeah, so we're both writing, and back to what do you do next? I feel like it's taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Because for the past 10 years, it was kind of like, I'll get rest at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah. Later. We'll
exactly
deal
what
with
I'm
that
getting
later,
at. Yeah.
later. And it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, the body's like, I'm tired. I need a break. So to what she's saying, we're writing now. We're on Substack, which that's been a lot of fun to be able to, it's like, I'm treating it as my diary on the internet. You get to see it, you get to read it, whatever. If you find yourself to resonate with it, cool. If not, that's fine. It's just out there.
Uh-huh.
And we also like to do road trips.
Yeah.
We'll just take off to Austin on the weekend. We'll take off to San Antonio. We'll just do little
trips,
trips.
Just take care of our mental health.
It's important.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
very important.
You can't be, as Graham said, he can't show up. He shows up better for his kids and his work if he takes that time for himself.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good message for young entrepreneur, for young or old entrepreneurs
Yeah.
as well. So selfishly, next time design a bicycle, specifically an e-bike, because I will be in line.
Somebody get on the phone and get us on a partnership with a
an
bike.
e-bike.
Absolutely. That is important.
What is
Okay.
it,
Bikes are
Schwinn?
popular.
Somebody get on the phone
I'm
with
not
Schwinn.
super
Yeah.
familiar with
I
bikes.
love bikes. I used to ride them a lot when I was a kid. But you never forget how to ride a bike. But I don't know where this fear of like, I don't want to fall because I haven't ridden in
Yeah,
a
you have to
long-
practice. Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, I don't know. So we always go into 7th and I'm like, we should buy a bike. Maybe you should get me a bike. And I'm like, but it's an investment for me to not use it. So maybe that might be the next thing.
Yeah.
I'll loan you my e-bike to try it out because I'm married to that e-bike. I
Yeah.
swear, I'm married to a person, my husband as well. But the bike is
But the
like
bike is
really
close
important.
second.
So you brought some T-shirts with you today. Tell us about them. Let me get that.
Yeah. So those are really like our best sellers.
This is the original, right?
the
This is the
original one.
original
The
Latina
OG.
Power, guys, and
This
you can
is-
still get this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you can still get this one.
We would be crazy
Okay.
to not have it.
This is Vero's favorite.
This is my favorite. Todavía lloré, which is a
Aw.
Valentine's Day edition with the little heart. Which this heart I actually drew. We digitized.
Okay, I
Like
had
a
not
little
seen
wonky.
that one. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
And then this one is our biggest seller
The
here in the valley.
956.
Yeah, so it has the
Awesome.
956
Show the
and then
back,
it
show the
has
back.
the
Oh, I didn't
It's
see
the
the
Rio Grande
back. I only saw the
Valley.
front. That's cute.
yeah. So this is our best seller here in the valley.
Here,
And
yeah.
how much do these run?
They're all 42.
I love it. Okay, guys, shopping. What's coming up? Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Mother's
yes.
Day.
We have all
and-
the Mother's Day stuff at the store as
There
well.
you go. And Father's Day. You sell
Yeah.
for Father's Day as well, right?
Yep.
And there must be a Kids Day in there somewhere.
That's
El
actually
Día de los Niños.
El Día de los Niños is actually
That's right.
tomorrow. Actually.
Oh, is it?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. I knew
Yeah.
that in the back of my head. Super.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna look around for your sneaker, and maybe I can find one on eBay or something.
Hey, if they have it on if they have it on eBay, so you let me know because I'm looking for a pair as well.
So, last question. Let's say you've done 10 years.
Yeah.
You've learned a lot. You've been very courageous. I really feel it took a lot of courage to do all of that. And what do you see yourselves, or how do you see yourselves 10 years from now? So we'll be doing this podcast in 10 more years. What do you think? What would you be talking about in 10 years?
Honestly, I think that the biggest thing that we've learned in these past 10 years is that we need to be ready to pivot. And so obviously I hope that in 10 years the business has grown. I hope that we've explored different kinds of partnerships with other businesses that have values that are aligned with ours, but I don't know. I don't know what things are going to look like in 10 years, and I'm pretty comfortable with not knowing. I love what we're doing. I love what we're building. I think that the need for Latino representation is always going to exist. And so I think that as long as we stay true to that vision and that mission, and as long as we continue to empower the community, we keep that connection with our community, with our ancestors, with our family, I think that's the most important thing. So I'm not sure what it's going to look like in 10 years. I'm comfortable with just kind of going with the flow. But I think the biggest thing is we hope that it continues to grow, that we're able to reach new audiences,
Yep.
and that we get really cool partnerships, maybe an e-bike. I don't know. I love partnering with different businesses.
Yeah, as long as their values align with our values,
Of course. Mm-hmm.
anything and
It's so fun. Like, honestly, running the business, like, while yes, obviously it's stressful because running any business is
Of
stressful.
course.
And sometimes I like want to yank my hair out. It's really fun. Building JZD has been such a fun ride the entire time. And I think for me, that is what motivates me. Like, I like to have fun. I don't like to be bored. I don't like to be unhappy. I don't like to do things that I don't want to do. And 10 years, and I'm still really happy to be doing this, and I still love doing this, and I still love designing, and I still love talking to the community, and I still love exploring partnerships, and I love working with my team. We're now a team of 8, and I love all of my team, and so that to me is the highlight of what we've built. And I think building the community is what brings me joy. And I don't know in what aspect I'm going to be doing that, but I hope I continue to empower and build on our community.
So what is that famous saying? If you don't work a day in life, if you love what you do, I'm probably
Yeah,
getting it wrong.
something
but
like that.
same-
Yeah.
Some about that
Along
line.
those lines. Yeah, no. I think that the next thing that we focus on is our nonprofit.
Yeah.
And I think that I hope that in the next 10 years, that's really what has us busy.
So what is your
Yeah.
nonprofit? I didn't know that part.
It's
So we're starting out Casa JZD, which is kind of the nonprofit aspect of JZD, where we give back to the community. And so the hope is to give back in the form of micro grants to the Latino and LGBT community that are in need, whether that's because they've been misplaced if they came out and their families are not accepting, or they need help with immigration process. All of these experiences will kind of vary based on the community member that asks for the aid.
Yeah.
But our hope is to do it in micro grants. We'll eventually hopefully not be super micro and kind of grow as the nonprofit grows. But yeah, it's really just to continue our work of empowering the Latino community.
So it could be individuals. It doesn't have to be like another not-for-profit asking for funding or something like that.
It could be individuals. That's really what we already donate with JZD,
Right.
and we love helping the community. It just felt like the right step, the next step for JZD. And I used to be a paralegal in a nonprofit with ProBar. She was in a nonprofit with the foster care. So we kind of come from the nonprofit world. And it's one of our passions to just be able to help. And I feel like JZD has put us in a position where we can do that. And it's really exciting to be able to focus on that now.
Yeah.
That is
We're excited
wonderful,
about it.
man. You guys inspire me. I'm telling you what,
Thank you.
I learned a lot. So, there is so much to be inspired by your women, your LGBT, your lesbian. I always ask my son, I don't want to say the wrong term, make sure I'm speaking politically correct. So if I misspeak, I apologize. But you're entrepreneurs. You went for it. You had courage and you dream big. If I had to summarize this session, it would be those phrases that are very inspiring. I'm very impressed, and I, to begin with, I just liked your shirt, but now, I'm even more so impressed.
Yeah, there's so much more
Thank you.
behind every single design, which drives us.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Well, I want to thank you very much for being with us today and bringing us some of your samples. And I'm sad I don't get sneakers, but but I will loan you my e-bike if you promise to paint something on the side of it.
I'll give you a JZD sticker to put on there.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you want to say to the listeners out there? Any words of inspiration or closing that you want to add?
I think that the biggest piece of advice that I could give any entrepreneur is to do what makes you happy and then chase after it fearlessly. It's not always easy and it's challenging, but it's always worth it when you're working towards something that you love. And if you love it, other people will too, because they will see it in you.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just pick yourself. Pick yourself always. Make yourself happy. Do what's going to make you happy. Forget about what everybody else is saying, because they're going to talk regardless. They're going to criticize you.
So true.
They're going to tell you, they think that they're all that. They think whatever. You think that if we had listened, or if Jen had listened to all the negativity around Latina Power, we would be here today? No, we were too niche. We were selling to women. Why would you just sell to women? Look at us now. So just follow your dreams. I know it sounds corny, but it's truly, if you don't let yourself be clouded by everybody else's opinions, you'll never get what you want.
I couldn't say it better. And it's so true of everything. When I decided to run for office, it was like, what? I thought you were a gynecologist. Why are you going to run for office? That's just weird. And then the first few things I did, there was always criticism. There's
Yeah.
always going to be somebody
Yeah.
that criticizes you. And you're right. You just have to stay the course and be true to yourself. So thank you again so very much. I hope we can do this again in 10 more years.
Yeah.
Because I
Gotta go.
can't wait to hear what happened next. And thank you everyone for tuning in. And please tune in for the next episode of Brownsville in Motion.